Good evening from Washington, D.C., a city that has seen almost everything but nothing in recent history, at least like what we saw today. A current senior administration official admitting to being part of the resistance inside the Trump administration. Let's just think about that for a moment. A current senior official working in this White House, writing in secret to alert the American people about what he or she is witnessing and attempting to prevent the President of the United States from doing. A current senior official working with others inside the administration to frustrate actions by the president that they believe would actually harm the country. The headline by this anonymous person reads, "I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration." But the headline is not even the most stunning part of what this person has to say. The official writing in the New York Times, quote, "We believe our first duty is to this country, and the president continues to act in a manner that is detrimental to the health of our republic. That is why many Trump appointees have vowed to do what we can to preserve our democratic institutions while thwarting Mr. Trump's more misguided impulses until he's out of office." This is not some Democratic operative writing this. This is somebody working in the Trump administration. This comes, of course, just one day after details emerged from Bob Woodward's book, details that sound very similar to what the senior official is saying. Listen to what else this official says about the president. Quote, "The root of the problem is the president's amorality. Anyone who works with him knows he's not moored to any discernible first principles that guide his decision-making." The writer does point to administration successes, but says they've come, quote, "despite, not because of the president's leadership style, which is impetuous, adversarial, petty, and ineffective." The official went on to say meetings with him veer off topic and off the rails. He engages in repetitive rants, and his impulsiveness results in half-baked, ill-informed, and occasionally reckless decisions that have to be walked back. This is where an already remarkable document sails into even deeper waters. Quoting again, "Given the instability many witnessed, there were early whispers within the cabinet of invoking the 25th Amendment, which would start a complex process for removing the president. But no one wanted to precipitate a constitutional crisis, so we will do what we can to steer the administration in the right direction until, one way or another, it's over." That line, "until one way or another, it's over." Let's just pause here. According to this official, people inside the administration, people in the cabinet were whispering about invoking the 25th Amendment. It's staggering. This is not by any means normal. The 25th Amendment, of course, provides for the removal of a president who's no longer fit to serve. Now, after the story broke, the Washington Post data reporter noticed that for a brief time today, Google searches on the 25th Amendment topped searches for Kim Kardashian, who was at the White House today. Late today, the president reacted, responding to a reporter's question during a gathering of local sheriffs at the White House. It goes on at some length. We've cut out a long digression on the economy, but it's important to hear the fullness of the president's reaction so you can get a better sense of the tone and perhaps his frame of mind.
This is what we have to deal with. And, you know, the dishonest media, because you people deal with it as well as I do. But it's really a disgrace. I will say this. Nobody has done what this administration's done in terms of getting things passed and getting things through. Nobody has ever done in less than a 2-year period what we've done. So when you tell me about some anonymous source within the administration, probably who's failing, and probably here for all the wrong reasons. No. And the New York Times is failing. If I weren't here, I believe the New York Times probably wouldn't even exist. And someday, when I'm not president, which hopefully will be in about 6.5 years from now, the New York Times and CNN and all of these phony media outlets will be out of business, folks. They'll be out of business because there'll be nothing to write and there'll be nothing of interest. So nobody has done what this administration has done. And I agree, it's different from an agenda, which is much different than ours, and it's certainly not your agenda, that I can tell you.
Thank you.
It's about open borders. It's about letting people flee into our country. It's about a disaster and crime for our country. So they don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like them because they're very dishonest people. Remember this also about the New York Times. When I won, they were forced to apologize to their subscribers. They wrote a letter of apology. It was the first time anybody's ever done it because they covered the election incorrectly. So if the failing New York Times has an anonymous editorial, can you believe it? Anonymous, meaning gutless, a gutless editorial. We're doing a great job. The poll numbers are through the roof. Our poll numbers are great. And guess what? Nobody is going to come close to beating me in 2020 because of what we've done. We've done more than anybody ever thought possible in, it's not even 2 years. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Those are current law enforcement personnel, by the way. The president earlier this evening, and after that, a one-word tweet, all caps, treason. That wasn't all. Just a few minutes ago, he tweeted again, quoting now, does the so-called senior administration official really exist, or is it just the failing New York Times with another phony source? If the gutless anonymous person does indeed exist, the Times must, for national security purposes, turn him/her over to government at once.